got a pretty exciting video because I got the brand new Beckett slabs that were just announced yesterday by the company with their new effort to redesign and improve their slabs. And honestly, now that I'm looking at them, they're a whole lot better. So for context, this is not sponsored. I still pay for these. They just reached out to me like a month ago and they mentioned like, hey, we're redesigning our slabs. Would you like to test it out by sending some cards in? So I sent them, I believe it was 5 cards for review, which nothing crossed. Means as expected, black labels are hard to get. And then I sent them like 4 cards for just straight up grading to see what would happen. I'm like, yeah, sure, let's try it out. Why not? You know, why not? So this is actually perfect because the first card in the front is my DDM Dark Magician Girl. And right off the bat, you can see like the back is just already a lot better. You remove this. So the front, this is the second copy that I obtained like 2 months ago now. It popped up on eBay and just went under the radar and I just sniped it. I cannot believe I actually won this one. There's, I believe there's 3 BGS 10s and then 1 black label of this. And yeah, so I sent this in for a review. It looks like it's still staying in the gold slab because 9.5 centering. Beckett is brutal when it comes down to centering. Anyways, let's compare and contrast. So first things first, you're gonna notice the 10 and the grade on the right side pops a whole lot more. I like this a lot. I will say I'm very indifferent about this, the actual text. Honestly, I feel there's like no room to breathe for the letters, but that might just be just me. I don't know, let me know your thoughts about how this looks. It feels like there's a lot of letters like next to each other, like just, you know, it's cramped up one small space. But that's probably also gonna vary based on where set comes from. If the set is very, very small, maybe it's gonna be a lot smaller. But I also don't really care too much. It's not that big of a deal. But the big one is the back. As you can see, the back offered nothing before. It was just kind of like the world's most trusted source in collecting, but it doesn't offer anything for the slabs. I never liked this about Beckett's back. Just does nothing. Oh yeah, also they changed the logo. I believe this is the older logo, going back to their roots, just making it a bit bigger. I like this a lot. It does look a lot cleaner than this. Honestly, now that I think about it, this one is like, I never even noticed it, but this one pops more, so that's definitely a W. But yeah, the back though, as you can see, it's got the security feature, and this is the best part right here. The most annoying thing about BGS slabs back in the day was having to look up the number. You gotta log into the website first and foremost, and then find through all the clicks, find where it says serial lookup, and then type the card in. Now you can just scan. This is a huge improvement, huge. And the fact that they didn't have that to me before is crazy. But now you can just take a picture of this. This is a lot nicer. So I like the fact that they improved it. That's a huge, huge plus for me because, you know, pop report is everything. But yeah, comparison-wise, I mean, it does look a lot better. The only first world problem I have now, I want to get all my other stuff now graded, or I guess crossed. And I don't want to send all this stuff in. This is like a lot of, I have a lot of Beckett slabs that I want to, like, you know, cross over into the brand new slabs that they got. So it's like, I think what I might just do is wait for one of those like more local card shows and just bring all my slabs in and just do it that day. Because I don't want to go like, you know, an X amount of time. Because I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people who also might want to cross their stuff into the new slabs. So I guess the first question I have is let me know your thoughts about, do you care enough about these changes to want to upgrade into the newer slab? One thing I will say, what's nice about Beckett is because the card's also protected within this like sleeve, there's a less chance of possible damage. Whereas, you know, not to knock anybody, but PSA has damaged cards in the past. PSA has more room for error with their slabs. So it's like, I'm probably never going to try to upgrade a PSA slab, especially what happened, you know, like 2 months ago. But with these, I feel more safe because, like, you know, they have the technology and I'm able to pop this off pretty easily. And then since it's already like protected in this like sleeve, I don't have to really worry about damage, but also knock on wood because you never know what's going to happen. So yeah, I guess the first question is do you guys care enough to upgrade? I mean, the back, this is just too nice. I like this a lot. I feel like I have to do it. But let me know your thoughts where you guys stay with that. All right, next we got, this was a review. This was the Crown Zenith Mewtwo. I think this is like one of the more cooler modern cards. You know, you got the 2 goats of Gen 1, Mewtwo versus Charizard in here. But the biggest thing that I will always say, what sucks about modern Pokemon and collecting, yes, sure, there is millions of fans, let's say that wants all these cards. And even if you have a card that's like pop 10,000 in PSA or pop a couple hundred in BGS, that's still a lot. But at the same time, in hindsight, if there's millions of people who want it, there's still kind of like a desire for it. But like, there's something about older Pokemon for me, like for example, like the Neo Genesis Lugia, pop 45 is so enticing. Like knowing that you're one of 45 people that has a PSA 10 with the Neo Genesis Lugia is so cool. But then I look at modern Pokemon, like even the SIR Charizard from 151, pop 27,000 is crazy to me. Crazy. That's why I prefer my modern Pokemon and Beckett slabs, because they're more strict. One of the things that they do is, instead of having like a 40-60 on centering, they do like 51-49, which is insane. 51-49 is so hard to get. That's why you never see centering as a 10. It's very, very rare. That's why when you see a 10 centering, you're like, damn, this is really, really clean card. In case you're wondering, this is what a 10 centering Yu-Gi-Oh card looks like. This is like one of my favorite cards that I own. I actually did pick up the only other BGS 10 as well. I don't know if I made a video about this or not, but this popped up. It went on the radar again. You never know what pops up on eBay sometimes. So that's back to what I was saying. I like to have my modern stuff in Beckett slabs just because it's a lot harder, more rare, if that makes sense. Now, there's one pretty cool card in here I have. This is my Silver Tempest Lugia that I pulled, like, what, 4 years ago now? Yeah, 4 years ago now. I remember I got it out of a Target box, a booster bundle back when, like, you know, Pokemon actually was available on the shelves. Really like this art. This is such a throwback to, reminds me of the Shining Gyarados from was it Neo Rev? Yeah, Neo Rev. And popping up with the Fisherman. This is so cool. I think this is one of the more cooler modern Pokemon cards out. And I would say it's amongst the lower pop, but it's still in the thousands of PSA. And then in Beckett, you know, a couple hundred, I want to say. Hey, you know what? We can look it up ourselves. Let me go ahead and do this real quick, see what happens. So it takes you straight up to, this is good. So we have 2,900 in the actual pop, and then for 10s we have 200 10s, and this is crazy. Also, I like how smooth that was. I didn't have to log in or anything. Just straight up. Yo, Beckett, that's a W. This is a big W on that. That's a huge improvement. All right, this might be the one that I graded. It is. Woo! Look at that. The story with this is I went to my locals, the greatest locals in San Diego, rare and sleeveless. And I bought, when it first came out, I got a booster bundle and actually pulled this same Dragonite, which is at PSA right now. But then I went to Rare and Service again like 2 months ago, no, like a month and a half ago. I got another, I think it was a sticker box or something, and I pulled a second one. And this one was so clean, I was like, yo, I'm sending this to Beckett. And that's the same time when they actually reached out and they were like, hey, you want to try the new slabs? I'm like, hell yeah. And big W, because we got a 10 on this. And look at that. Pop 47 is crazy. 47 with 7 black labels. I think didn't it just in black label just sell like 40 grand or something, or like 50? I'm gonna be honest, I'm not like a crazy hater, but this is kind of a person who has a lot of black labels. I think the black label premium is crazy for modern. For old, it makes sense. You know, in situations like Lugia, there is no black label Neo Genesis Lugia, but it's pop 4, I believe. And I think in its height, that card sold for like $150,000. In comparison, PSA recently sold like 140, 150-ish as well, which means a Beckett 10 is probably even higher now. But I will say the difference between a premium and a black label and a Beckett 10 is so crazy to me, but I can never justify the price. These two are virtually the same card. Hell, if I review this might even cross into a black label because this was also incredibly clean. But as far as prices, I think I paid, originally this sold for 5 grand. But the person canceled because it's labeled under UR, and this is actually a secret rare. And the UR versions of Feral Rares are like considered more rare or something. I don't know where that came from. When the secret rares look a lot better, so they canceled. And then when it popped back up, I won this for I believe like 1,600, which again went super crazy on the radar considering the fact that the PSA 10 variant of this sells for like 1,600. So, and BGS 10s are always a lot higher premium than they are with PSA. Again, this just went under the radar. No one even noticed, and I just sniped it. But like what I've heard is my homie said he wouldn't sell his for like under 30. So it's like they're the same card. 1,600 versus 30 grand is crazy. But nevertheless, you know, that's just my opinion. I know people who, especially people who have a lot of stock in black label, will tell you otherwise. I'm just bothered by the fact that I'm seeing modern Pokemon cards that are in the thousands in PSA slabs and hundreds in Beckett slabs selling for like 5 figures, and then they show you some vintage Pokemon cards that are still selling for the same price, and that's crazy to me. I'm like, this is the same as like an Umbreon from 2001. What are we talking about? But again, that's just my hot take for the day. Let me know your thoughts on that. I will say though, this looks really, really nice. Look at that. Ooh, I just love the back. The back is so clean. Like, huge props with that one. All right, this should be the first one that I sent it for grading. No, this is actually a review. So this is the Nico Robin that I picked up after I pulled the Nami. And I would say I made a mistake when I bought this because you can see that it is clearly off center. But every single copy of this card looked like this until I picked this up actually a week and a half ago. I will say I asked, I'm like, yo, did this cross? And they're like, nah. So I immediately picked this one up. And you can see that the centering of this one's a whole lot better. Look at that. It's a lot more thicker on the left side. It's still not perfect. This is still going to be centering 9.5 end of the day. I mean, maybe, I'm not really sure. Possibly, it could maybe cross, but I feel like between the Nami and the Robin, this is going to be like one of the more rare black labels to own. I think as of right now, there aren't any black labels. In fact, we can scan and check. I love this a lot. This is such a good improvement. Oh, all right, what we got? Imagine popped up saying no records found. That'd be crazy. All right, so we have 77 above. Oh, because it's a 9.5. I'm like, wait, what? There's that many? Yeah, there's 0 black labels and 77 10s. Again, my biggest first world problem right now is I want to cross all of these to the new slabs. It's gonna be such a pain. Then we got, oh yeah, this is the extended art prismatic Dark Magician Girl or Dark Magical Curtain that came out in Limited Over Collection. I might keep this actually in this slabs because I like it a lot. Beckett is a whole lot more brutal when it comes down to grading Yu-Gi-Oh! I know if this is any other company, especially ARS or PSA, they will probably give this a 10. But it's actually pretty good subgrades. 9.5, 9.5 on edges and corners, then dinged on centering. That's because they are a lot more brutal on centering. I don't agree, I will say that. I feel like this could have been a 9.5 centering as well, and then we'll be like 2 away from the 10, but I'll be honest, and again, this is how you know this is not sponsored, I might just cross this over to ARS just because I think ARS Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards by far look the best. They look so good. This is also the Magnificent Mavens Dark Magician Girl, and I just like how Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards look in these slabs. They pop so much more. Unfortunately, the downside of ARS is it's a Japanese-only company, so if you want to grade with them, you gotta be there in location. Luckily, I have a friend who lives there who can grade stuff for me. I usually always bring a submission in when I'm there. So we got, two above. Oh, there is 2 10s. Oh, that's crazy. I gotta hunt that down. I want that. I want one of those 10s. This card is sick. I mean, check this out. Bang, bang. The Grandmaster English version of this. The 1 out of 100. It's fake. Hey, did it work? Tell me I got one of you guys. Tell me I got one of you guys. Anyways, for comparison, I feel like when this card comes out in English, hopefully at some point this year, we're usually like 6 months, 5 to 6 months behind in the OCG releases. But I will say this, Konami has released these for a lot of locations as well. I know they have it in China. I think Korea got it recently. So like we're kind of lagging on this, but whenever we get these, I'm definitely gonna try to hunt down a Grandmaster. Maybe. I mean, 100 copies is nuts. Maybe he might go to Beckett. I don't know. We'll see. But this looks really, really nice. Yeah, maybe I won't pursue a 10 of this in Japanese. I'll hold on to this one for now because it was a gift. Shout out to Infinite Collections for sending that into my original order. But definitely the English copy is what I want the most. Oh, we got a 9.5 in the Robin winner. So I picked this up actually at Rare and Sleeveless, both this and the Nami. Oh, we got a 10 on the Nami. Nice. Woo! I think this is the one that you want the 10 in the most, but honestly, you know, I like Robin and Nami, so this is close. I might see if I can review this. If not, try to find one that's clean enough, but hey, you know what we can do? We can look it up. Yeah, I did not realize I'm gonna like the scan aspect so much more with this, because yo, Beckett, if you're watching this, it was such a pain before to look up anything. No records found. Hey, bro. Hey, can I get my records? Hey, well, right off the bat, I can see something they got to improve on here. And no record found again. But yeah, this is actually a complaint that I had with Beckett before. I was like, you know, cleaning up your pop reports should be a priority. And they did mention to me when we talked like a month ago that one of their goals is to clean up the pop report. So far, it's looking pretty good, just not perfected yet. So we'll see how that changes over the course of the future of Collector being basically the owners of Beckett now. So we'll see what happens there. But for now, it's a good start with everything else. But these should not. Beckett, you can't be having, you know, scans that don't work on the cards. But hey, I will give them a pass right now because this literally was just added yesterday. And the final card is I sent in one of the collector briefcase blue ice that I pulled. Not really pulled, but I bought the suitcase like what 3 years ago now, 2 years ago. And of the 3 promo blue ice that I got in there, 2 came back at 10, 1 came at 9.5, and then also the one with the earth and behind the QCR, that one also came back at 10. But I like this because it's like the prismatic hollow that you see in the DDS blue eyes, and I was hoping that this was the best looking one out of the 2 that I had. I was hoping that would cross into a black label, but I guess it's not. We got data. Look at that. Nice. We have look, it tells you when it was even graded, March 29th, 2024. That was literally 2 years ago. That's crazy. How much time passes. And we have 102 9.5s, 41 10s, and then 7 black label. I will say this, I'm a big fan. I think these look a lot cleaner. I think what I might just definitely just do is I'm just gonna wait for like a local car show to have on-site slabbing. Just bring the stuff in for the new slabs. Luckily, I don't have like a billion slabs when it comes on to Beckett. It's gonna be annoying to have to deal with, so we'll just worry about that when, I guess, that car show pops up. That said, let me know your thoughts, and I'll send some more cards in soon to get stuff crossed and graded and see if we can do another return at some point in the near future. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the comment section below.